That's why I started running at 40. It may not have been 100% this thing of like, I'm going to use 40 as an opportunity to run, but it was just that light bulb that clicked. So today is the first day of 2026. And obviously, given that it's January, it's cold out. And I'm about to go on my first run of the year. It's pretty cold. I don't really normally run in the cold outside. During this winter, I've been mostly running inside, running on the treadmill, because it's just a lot to deal with the cold and the air and the wind. It's been very windy here in Philly as well. So I just haven't bothered with it. Right? I haven't felt like bothering with it and just being honest with myself. But given I'm looking at this year to set a lot of intention around my life. That includes health, finances, career, all the different things. I wanted to start the year off right. I ended 2025 yesterday, taking my kickboxing fitness class. So I figured I'd get end the year on some fitness and beating up some leather, let some aggression out. Let release the frustrations of 2025 in that particular way, and then spend the rest of the night kind of like just really measuring out, clean the house, burn some incense, clear out any energies and things like that. Do laundry, and just kind of just vegged out to myself. I think that was really peaceful, and a nice way to kind of stay safe and stay inside, because for whatever reason, this past few years or what have you, decade maybe, New Year's has not felt like a safe night, or New Year's Eve rather, especially if you live in the city. So the best is to stay at home. You know what I mean? I have no reason to be out and like at this party or that party or anything like that. I almost went out, but I decided, I was like, why? And I'm glad I made the decision I made, because I was able to be at home, be at peace, play some video games, get back into that as a stress reliever, and acknowledge that 2025 came with some real stressful energy, and that in one form or another it needed to be released. And what's so interesting about 2025 is that I turned 40. So I think it's a very pinnacle moment in growth. Stepping into 40, one of the things that I decided to commit to myself to is running, mainly because I hate running. So I stepped into running because I was like, it's something. If we expect to tackle certain things in life and conquer them, we get to face them head on. It's like we see our fears, and we're going to keep fearing them as long as we don't step to them, right? And you have courage to face it. It's like, yes, you're afraid, but you face it anyway and push through. So I feel like that was one of those things. Not that I was afraid of running. I just didn't feel like running. It felt like a very arduous task to move my body in such a way. If I didn't have to, if I wasn't running from something, then why am I running? But I knew that someone who loved lifting weights, loved strength training, loved these different ways of moving your body, that felt like I'm getting stronger. Cardio was missing, and understanding I don't breathe the best. I've never been a proper breather, whether it's through my nose or my mouth. And running was a struggle. Cardio was a struggle. And I think that's just not good moving into my 40s, right? Especially I've started to learn through my 30s that, there were older folks that were just taking their life by the reins, and they were doing their thing. I'm talking about 80-year-old bodybuilders and things, and people that looked great at their age, defying what we've been societally led to believe around what aging looks like, what it means to be old, what it means to grow old, right? People taking on their lives differently and looking just as young as me. And I was like, I want that, but I recognize there's certain things, not to say that these people have all done that, but certain people taking their health in their hands, and there's certain things I need to do health-wise in order to live another at least 40 years, right? Because think about 40 is just one set. These last 40 years you lived on life, and another 40 is 80. And there's people that live to be 100 or something, whatever the case may be, and even they're still like, oh, I've had a happy life, or whatever the case may be. So I'm imagining what's possible to live another whole 40 years as an adult with everything that I've learned, versus half that time of 40, 20 something years, just learning what life is and figuring it out, Now it's like I get to get that, put that all in application for the next 40 years and define my life in a crazy way. So that's what I'm actually looking forward to. Um, that's what bringing in 40 left me with. And I was like, okay, if I expect to get in better health, I need to make it a whole 360 experience of like, I'm going to lift weights, I'm going to, get strength training, things like that. But I need to get this cardio up. So I started running, right? I ran into a run club out here. I've been living in Philadelphia for about 2 years now, officially 2 years now. And last summer, about a year ago, I ran into a run club that was out in downtown in the city, and I was interested in what they were doing. Plus, it was a good way to build community because I didn't know anybody here. So connected with them for a bit. It was, it was going into the fall and the winter, so I didn't stay too long. I maybe did like a few weeks of the running with them once a week on Sunday mornings. That was another thing too. Waking up early to go work out was not a thing that I normally did. Um, but I did that for a little bit, and then I decided I took a break for the winter, ran here and there, but not as much as I could have indoors because I was like, I'm not running in the cold again. and but when I took a trip to Africa in April, and then when I came back, I decided I was like, I want to come back. I'm going to be consistent. It's getting warmer, and I want to be consistent with this running. I really want to take my health seriously, and I did. And I think that was one of the biggest things for me was tackling my health. I went on cholesterol pills a couple years ago, and one of those big things was like I want to make sure I don't have to be on medicines. I want to live a life not on medicine. I want to live a life not on pills. And taking cholesterol pills, even though I can take, of course, it could always be way worse than that, absolutely. But taking cholesterol pills was like, oh man, like there's something I'm not doing. As someone who enjoys working out and enjoys being on a health journey, there's something I'm not doing. So I need to show up better for myself. Because showing up better for myself means showing up better for the world around me, whether it's my family, friends, whatever the case may be. So it was choosing. I had to opt in and subscribe to me being a better version of myself, health-wise, physical-wise. And in that physical was also mental, it was also emotional. All these things tie in, interconnected experiences to being a whole human, right? So running was the biggest obstacle for me. And I say that looking at that year's time ago when I tried dabbling before running into my run club, I could barely run 3 minutes on a treadmill. And that was actually for a long time. Because I didn't run, I didn't do any of that stuff. I did all the fitness and workouts for years and years, off and on. After COVID, slacked a bit, gained 50 pounds, which is crazy to me. But when I got back to the gym, it was like, okay, if I did run on the treadmill, it was very bare. And 3 minutes was like, 3 minutes of consistent running was it before I was like, so I've used that as a measure ever since I started taking running seriously. And I was like, I gotta be able to go the distance. I gotta be able to go further, right? And I feel like this year, or 2025, taking running consistently, running once a week, and then getting up enough courage to do races, which also meant training myself, my endurance, my cardio up, meant me running 2-3 times a week. And doing tempo runs, running at different tempos, running at different speeds, running short distances, longer distances to get to the distance or whatever's necessary for that next race. And where I am now is such a testament to me of the journey, because like I said, that year ago of barely running on a treadmill for 3 minutes, now I can run on a treadmill for 2 hours if I wanted to. You know what I mean? Maybe not nonstop, but I can run. I ran my longest distance in 2025, which was 10 miles so far, and didn't feel winded. You know what I mean? Like where 3 minutes of treadmill winded me, 10 miles out on the road, where it's actually harder because you're pushing yourself versus moving with the trajectory of the treadmill. You're pushing yourself outside. But it's great scenery versus looking at a mirror or a wall. So that kind of helps. But you're pushing yourself to another level when you're running outside, running against the terrain, running against weather conditions, running amidst other people that are running at whatever pace they're running, and going around them or whatever in a race. And I pushed myself to be able to end this year knowing I can run 10 miles in November of 2025, where September of 2024, I could barely run 3 minutes, let alone 3 miles. So, in taking on this journey, it became more than just having better health going into my 40s. It meant understanding strength looks a lot of ways, understanding courage looks a lot of ways, understanding showing up looks a lot of ways. And I got to exhibit and strength and courage in a way that allowed me to step into myself and show up for myself in a way that I don't think I ever had before, especially physically. And again, in that 360 experience, mentally, I have a different type of confidence in myself, and I have a different type of way I see myself mentally, right? The mental picture of who I am defies anything that I thought I was prior. The emotional connection, the emotional, growth that's taken place because of this has been exponential. It's a straight stress reliever. And I'm a thinker, so running is a great opportunity for me to think, especially running outside. I get to think, I get to look at the water, different trails and things like that, and just be with my thoughts. Most times I don't run with music. Some people are like, I need to run with music. I don't really run with music like that, unless I feel like, all right, I need to push through this run because it's kicking my ass. But other than that, I don't really, I run with my thoughts. I'm a very introspective person, so I like to think and strategize and figure things out and see how I'm moving in this life in relation to myself and other people, and how am I getting to be a better human. And I think I feel like I can check running off the list as a means in which to activate that goal of being a better person, right? And on top of that, I lost 40 pounds. So that also helps. 40 pounds. I lost 40 pounds this year as a result of running, staying consistent, bettering my diet, and being more active. Now the next step is tackling sleep. But we'll get there, bit by bit, baby steps. But I really think running has been not only a great way to better my health, to increase my endurance, increase my cardiovascular capacity, but it's also shown me how I can do hard things and show up for myself in ways that are needed and that are wanted and needed, which in turn lets me know I can show up for others in a certain type of way, and a certain type of authenticity, and a certain type of honesty, because it can humble you and show you some things and show you that you'll still be okay, right? Because maybe some days you may not do that 3 miles. Maybe it might be 2.5, or you may not do it at all. Feel like I just don't feel like doing this run. But it's coming back the next day or coming back later in the day to try again, right? One of my pinnacle moments, aside from doing that 10-mile race, was being able to run 8 miles straight on the treadmill, and feeling that push, and being like, after 5 miles, being in this state of like, oh, I can really do this, right? And it's all a matter of conditioning and pacing yourself. Again, it's like allegories for life, where it's like sometimes you can burn yourself out by hitting the ground running too fast to start off that race. But if you pace yourself, take your time, and build up your speed, build up your understanding of your terrain, where you are in the moment, and what energy you need to expend in order to get there to the finish line safely and without feeling burnt out. That, I think, has been a great lesson in this process as well. And I've learned that keeping a consistent pace, keeping the pace that you can moderate and build up to throughout the race can help you get to the finish line in the pace that works for you. Because everyone could run. There's 30,000 people in that 10 mile run. I was running 10 miles. There's people that ran 3 or a full half marathon. But in that race was 30,000 people. But they're all running a race for themselves, right? We're all running in the same race, but we're all not running the same race. And the beauty in that is knowing that everyone has a different why and why they're there. Everyone has a different why, a different reasoning as to why they're running this particular race. It could be for themselves. It could be for a family member, somebody that that's going through cancer, or they just want to run and feel like they're doing something that's positive, or just running to be, again, like me, like for better health, and challenging yourself, seeing how far you can go, because you don't really know until you go too far. You don't know how far you can go, right? So. And you're seeing elders, and you're seeing, young people, kids, older, millennials and Gen X, and different people and families and people with and parents with strollers, and people with pets, people of all walks of life, all diversities, running in the same race, but running their own race inside of that. So that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned from running, again, aside from the health, has been, it's like allegory for life. Like, we're all running in this race together, but we're running our own race at our own pace. But no matter what, as long as we stay committed to the goal, committed to the destination and the finish line, we will get there. No matter what, we will get there, and we will win. We will get that medal at the end. Until the very last person runs through the finish line, everyone will get there. And we just have to know we're not out to beat the person next to us, beat the person behind us. Some may use that for motivation to help them run faster, sure, but not as the real goal. The goal is to be better than yourself, than you were yesterday, or the day before, or that morning. And know that you went the distance. Know that you finished. You can set markers for yourself, like, I want to beat my best time, which is also great. I want to run this distance because I never ran it before. I want to know that I can do it. At the end of the day, it's also, I finished. I set out to complete a goal, and I did it. And I did it at my pace. I did it in my own terms. I did it in my own way, right? Whether you ran backwards, or you ran in a costume, whether you ran and stopped, whether you walked most of it, ran most of it, walked a little bit, you did what you needed to do to get to the finish line. And that's why I started running at 40. It may not have been 100% this thing of like, I'm going to use 40 as an opportunity to run, but it was just that light bulb that clicked of like, my health is important as I get older, and there's one thing that's been missing in my plan, my health plan, that I get to activating, and I'm going to do it. And I did it. And then I did it again and again and again, until now it's become a lifestyle. So, and it's a lifestyle that can go on forever. And I don't have to run fast all the time. I can run slow, I can run, pace myself, I can walk it, run it, mix it up, run nonstop, do whatever I need to do to get to that next step, and to just challenge myself to be better. And that's what it's going to be about. The journey to be better. That's what it's always been about for me, is the journey to be a better person, no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the obstacles. Be a better person. And running's taught me that a lot. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this message, and if you're interested in where I'm going with this, and sharing more races and more run journeys and more health journeys and all things in between, then just make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and share and comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know where you are in your journey. Let me know if you started running. What has been your takeaways from running? If for all the runners out there, what has been your takeaway? Or what has been your takeaway from your health journeys? What have you learned from that? Let me know. All right, I'm being a whole psychopath. Coming into my first run of the 2026. 28 degrees right now here in Philly. But I think I got my running gear in order. So I have my Wallaco tights. I just ordered them, and I heard they're really good for keeping you warm, especially in the colder temperatures when you're running. You know, the permeability is tight, moisture wicking and things like that, so that's cool. Then I also have shorts on as well from Fabletics. Shouts out Fabletics. I got my Fabletics hoodie on. I have a Fabletics quarter zip under here. That's my quarter zip movement. And a long sleeve Fabletics tee under that. So upper body for the most part is very warm. Legs might be struggling, but I don't think it'll be that bad once I start running. Oh, it's blown out as hell. Can you see me? I'll do it like this. Nope. Hold on a second. I think that's a little better. Have the exposure on 100. So, oh yeah, I look clear. Anyway, so yeah, I'm Fabletics out, and that's still blown out. Anyway, I'm Fabletics out and got my Wallaco tights. So, trying on different brands to stay warm while I do this run. I like to start a few blocks up because I don't want Strava recording where I'm coming from. But so it should be a good run. Gonna keep it easy, pace myself, keep it real easy. Like I said, first run of the year, first time really running in cold like this, so I gotta test out my limitations and abilities. So we'll see how far I go. I'm gonna run down to the general trail that everybody runs. Let's see how far I go. This will be just see how far I go. I may turn back or I may jump on the train. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. But we'll go for the miles. And we're going to have a good time. So, what I do like about the idea of running in the cold, because my last race, it was pretty cold out. Maybe like 40s, 30-something 40s, I think it was. And, you know, I had long sleeve, different layers. But what I do like is that it balances me out because I get hot really easily and I sweat really easily. So having the cold column balance that out, keep my body temperature down while running is really good. Running in the heat is like the most torturous thing I've ever experienced. Like running this past summer was like, oh my God, that sun beating on your back, ridiculous. So, but running in that cold, I think actually helped me PR during my last race, because it kept my body temperature down, and I was sweating, but I didn't have to sweat for too long. And if I was sweating under, I didn't really notice because I had all these layers on, so I didn't know what I was feeling. I've been having troubles with my knee. So lately, my right knee has been feeling weird. You know, with all the running I've been doing, I've had a history of knee troubles, but the running and the strength training around the running has been helpful to my knees. I don't know, the past month has been weird. My right knee has been like bothering me something crazy. I should probably just hold it with this hand, right? I have a hand. Duh. Yo, this sign is like obtrusive, bro. I'm gonna get the hang of this one. I didn't want to do auto because I don't know. Should I just like talk sideways? What is happening? Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do this run. I don't have a specific mileage I'm looking for. Just gonna go till I can, or till it feels right. Aim for minimum 5K, and we'll go from there. So we'll see what's up. All right, I'm about to be at my start point, so hit that record on the Strava, because the Strava word didn't happen out here, player. Why am I talking like this? Anyway, let's get to this run. I try to do a fit check. All right, taking a little bit of a walk break because a lot of snow and ice out here right now. It's not cleared out, which I'm not surprised at. Disappointed, but not surprised. So I get out here to be like, I'm gonna run through the ice. So I'm gonna keep my pace to myself. I'm gonna get back to it. So shouts out to him. All right, we're gonna pick it back up in a second. You already know how the Wawa logos do. What's up, y'all? They ready. Look at them. I'm cool, y'all. I'm friendly. Made it to the city. About almost 7 miles in. So I could probably push more, but I did 7 miles. Went from the home space to made it to the city. So not too bad. I think my one battle with this weather, even though it's good to like bounce and keep my heat down, is my heart rate, because I'm gonna have to push a little bit more for my breathing, dealing with the cold air or have you. So just getting my breathing better, getting my heart rate down in weather like this, that's gonna be the goal. That'll be good, because then I can work on running longer and getting better pacing and better air in, and lower my heart rate. So, and in turn, running gets easier. So I'm in the city now, walk and cool down. Now it's time to get some food. So I'm gonna find a place to eat and then make my way back home, probably on the train, and then go from there. Wrap up the day. Good run. So I'm happy with what I came away with. Let's go get some grub.